Hari Om. We all have heard many stories about Sage Durvasa. We have seen Sage Durvasa as a short-tempered and angry individual. Do we know the reason behind his angry nature? And do we know that it was Sage Durvasa's curse that led to Lord Sri Krishna being shot by an arrow in his foot and eventually that caused the end of his avatar? Welcome to Saujanya Speaks. We have been discussing talks by Sadguru Sri Sivananda Murthy Garu on the topic Sri Krishna. Today we shall see a wonderful and interesting episode between Lord Sri Krishna and Durvasa Maharshi. Sage Durvasa was born to Maharshi Atri and Ansuya Mata by the blessing of Lord Shiva. So, Durvasa Maharshi is an Amsa of Lord Shiva. When Ansuya Mata was pregnant with Durvasa, a Hayahaya king tried to harm the baby in the womb. This infuriated Lord Shiva. And so, the baby in the womb also became angry. And thus, Durvasa was born as an angry individual. So, when he grew up, he was short-tempered by nature. Or else he too would have been a person with sattvic qualities. Once, Sage Durvasa went to the house of Satyabhama. He went there and asked for her hospitality. Sri Krishna and Satyabhama readily accepted and invited him with all love and affection. Durvasa wanted to test the patience of Lord Sri Krishna. He wanted to see if other people also get angered like him. He once called Krishna and said, "I want to be driven in a chariot." Krishna readily agreed. But Durvasa said, "It wouldn't be interesting if the chariot is led by horses and other animals. I want you and Satyabhama to drive the chariot for me." Krishna readily agreed and called Satyabhama. Durvasa was seated grandly in the chariot, and Krishna and Satyabhama pulled the chariot and took him out in a procession. During the procession, Durvasa whipped them. He asked them to run. He asked them to halt. In this way, he harassed them for a long time. But Krishna and Satyabhama bore it all very patiently. They were smiling all the time. After testing them for a long time, Durvasa understood that the Paramatma, with all his infinite powers, is so patient, is so forbearing, whereas I, with these limited powers, am so short-tempered. He asked Krishna and Satyabhama to stop. He came down and blessed them that their name and fame shall live in this world forever. Once, Durvasa visited the house of Rukmini. He said to her that he intended to stay there for some days. Krishna and Rukmini happily agreed and welcomed him. But here too, Durvasa wanted to test them. He would ask Rukmini that he was hungry and ask her to prepare food. When the food was prepared that was enough for an individual, he would eat as much as the food required for 1,000 people. Similarly, on another occasion, when more food was cooked and kept ready, he would come, just have a grain of it and say that his stomach was full. On another occasion, he would similarly say that he was feeling hungry, and when the food was made ready and it was ready to serve, he would come and say that he was on a fast. He continued like this for nearly 21 days. One day, he destroyed the mansion that he was living in with the entire furniture, turned it into ashes, and came to the house of Rukmini and asked her to prepare payasam or porridge. Rukmini instantly prepared the payasam. He took the payasam and poured it all over her. Krishna stood there smilingly. Then he asked Krishna to take the payasam and pour it upon him, the sage. Krishna did accordingly. Durvasa said, I have asked you to pour the payasam on my body. You have applied it, but you have not applied the payasam under the feet. So, death shall come to you through your feet. And we know, as the story goes, that Lord Sri Krishna was shot by a hunter by an arrow which struck his feet, and that caused the end of his incarnation. When Krishna and Rukmini took this all with a smile, he blessed the couple, saying, Krishna, your name and fame shall remain in this world forever. Your name shall grant eternal bhakti. There will be none who will hate you. And to Rukmini he said that age shall never affect her. She shall remain youthful forever. And women shall be pativratas just by thinking of her name. He thus blessed the couple and disappeared from there instantaneously. This is mentioned in the Vishnu Purana and the Srimad Bhagavatam. Sage Durvasa acted in the same manner with the Kauravas also. He went to Duryodhana and put him to severe tests. He would say he wanted to perform an yajna immediately. He wanted them to bring all the materials from a forest. Duryodhana and his attendants did accordingly. They served the Maharshi very well. Durvasa was pleased by Duryodhana and his service. He told Duryodhana to ask for a boon. Duryodhana could have asked for anything. He could have asked for victory over the Pandavas. But Krishna Maya provoked him otherwise. The Lord is always there to take care of his devotees. Duryodhana asked Krishna to go to the forest and accept the hospitality of the Pandavas. He knew that if the Maharshi went to the Pandavas, they were not in a position to serve him, and the Maharshi would thus be angered and curse them. So, with this wicked plan in mind, Duryodhana asked Durvasa to go to the Pandavas to accept their hospitality. The Pandavas were in exile. Draupadi had an Akshay Patra by the boon of the sun god. The Akshay Patra would provide any amount of food that was required. But once Draupadi had taken her meals for the day, it was not possible to get food from the Akshay Patra. Durvasa went to the Pandavas with his 1,000 disciples and asked for food to be served. The Pandavas were in a fix. Very pleasingly, they told Durvasa to go to the river and have a bath. Draupadi did not know what to do. She fervently prayed to Lord Sri Krishna. Krishna appeared instantaneously before Draupadi. And he said, we shall talk about other things later. First, I am hungry. Get me something to eat. At this, Draupadi lamented, Oh Krishna, you too are putting me to a test. You know that I am not in a position to offer anything to you. At this, Krishna said, let me see, get the Akshay Patra. When Draupadi brought the Akshay Patra, Krishna took a particle of food that was left over in the vessel and ate it. And lo, at this minute, all the disciples of Durvasa, including the Maharshi, had a feeling that their stomachs were full. What did Krishna do here? If Draupadi had lamented the same way in the front of the sage, there was a chance that the sage would be angered and he would have cursed Draupadi. But because Draupadi lamented in front of Lord Krishna, her karma phala got burnt. It seems that once Draupadi must have commented that she was a queen and she need not ask for anything from anyone, or she need not say no to anybody when they ask anything. Because she had said such words, Krishna acted like this so that her karma phala got burnt. And meanwhile, what happened to Sage Durvasa and his disciples? As soon as they took a dip in the waters of the river and came out, they had a feeling that their stomachs were full and they could not eat even a morsel of food. Durvasa understood that Krishna Maya had taken place. And here Krishna sent Bhima and others to invite Durvasa for lunch. When Bhima and others went to the sage and invited them for lunch, Durvasa immediately said to Bhima, "Enough, enough. We have had our lunch. Tell them that we are full." And he and his disciples ran away from there. This is how the Lord saves his devotees. He never fails them. It is natural to pray to God when we are in difficulties. But when there is a problem with no solution and no human intervention can help, it is then that surrender comes to us. Hope you all enjoyed the episode of Lord Sri Krishna and Durvasa Maharshi. Dear viewers, you all have been supporting me and encouraging me a lot. Thanks a lot for that. But please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. I have a good news to share with all of you. Very soon we shall reach our first milestone of 200 subscribers. But it is possible only with your cooperation.